Hi everyone, I'm Daya, and welcome to our Emotional Health Podcast series. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic, emotional triggers. What are they, how do they affect us, and most importantly, how can we learn to manage them? Joining me is the incredible Enlighten Anand, a transformational coach and emotional mastery expert who will guide us through understanding and overcoming these triggers. Let's jump right in. Emotional triggers, that's a big topic these days. Can you explain what they actually are?
Sure, they are. Emotional triggers are specific situations, people, or even thoughts that provoke a strong emotional reaction in us. It could be anger, sadness, frustration, or anxiety. These reactions often feel bigger than the situation itself because they are tied to something deeper like past experiences or unmet needs.
Interesting. Can you give me some examples of common triggers?
Other triggers include failures, which can make people feel inadequate, and comparison, which leads to the feeling of not being good enough.
So, why is it important to understand our triggers? I mean, everyone gets emotional sometimes, right?
Absolutely. But understanding your triggers help you take control of your reactions. When you know what sets you off, you can respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. It improves relationships, helps you make a better decision, and supports personal growth. It's really about turning your emotions into a tool rather than a stumbling block.
That makes a lot of sense. But how do you figure out what your triggers are?
Think back to the last time you felt the strong emotional response. Ask yourself, what happened just before you felt that way? Was your reaction proportional to this situation?
What's the first step to identifying triggers?
Another great tool is keeping trigger journal. Write down moments when you feel triggered, what happened, how you felt, and even any physical sensations like a racing heart or a tense muscles.
So, it's about observing patterns.
Once you have tracked few instances, look for patterns. For example, do you often feel upset when someone interrupts you? Or does rejection make you feel deeply hurt? These patterns often point to the deeper fears or beliefs behind the reactions.
And then what?
That can be tough, but recognizing the root cause is the first step to the healing. It's not about erasing the triggers, but learning to manage them so they don't control you.
That sounds powerful, but what if the triggers are tied to something painful, like past traumas?
The first thing is to pause. When you feel triggered, take a deep breath and give yourself a moment to think. That pause is crucial. It stops you automatic reactions.
Okay, let's say someone identifies their triggers. What should they do next?
Absolutely, reframing is powerful. For instance, if someone interrupts you and you feel disturbed, try telling yourself, maybe they are just excited to share their thoughts. I can politely ask them for my turn.
That's good advice. What about reframing the situation?
It's essential. If something bothers you, express your feelings. For example, you could say, when I'm interrupted, I feel unheard. Can we make sure everyone gets a chance to speak? Is assertive. but not the aggressive.
And what about communication?
Building resilience through self care, practicing mindfulness, exercising, or even journaling can help you to stay grounded so triggers don't affect you as much.
I like that. It's direct but respectful. Anything else?
Sure, here's a simple one. Think a recent situation that triggers strong emotional response. Write down what happened, how you felt, why it upset you. Then ask yourself what you could do differently next time. This exercise helps you to create a plan for handling similar situations in the future.
Can you give me a practical exercise for someone to start working on their triggers?
It's about progress, not perfection. Every time you work on your triggers, you are building self awareness, emotional strength.
That's really actionable. It's like creating a playbook for your emotions.
Because they are like a roadmap to your inner self. When you understand your triggers, you gain insight into your emotions, past experiences, and even your needs. And once you have that insight, you can take control, improve your relationship, and grow into the best version of yourself.
So, if you had to summarize, why is understanding emotional triggers so important?
That's the first step there. Self awareness is a journey, but it's one of the most rewarding one you will ever take.
That's inspiring. Thanks for sharing all this. I'm going to start paying attention to my triggers and see what I learn.